Hello everybody, my name is Bragster and welcome to Impact's Rebellion pay-per-view predictions. Now I know this is a bit later than I usually do it. My uni, work and just life in general has been a bit busy lately. I have a brand new PC, so that is why I'll do a video on that later at a later date. But basically, I've just been busy, very, very busy. That's why I haven't been doing, haven't done this as early as I usually do. So apologies for that. But the Rebellion pay-per-view looks to be a big one. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to watch this live. I'll have to watch it the next day, probably even the day after that, which I really don't want to, but I might not have a choice because of uni work, etc. But anyway, this is set to be a big pay-per-view, and not only is it set to be a big pay-per-view, it is also set to be a monumental one, as this is the pay-per-view where Impact and AEW World Championships are unified together. I don't know how they are going to book this from here on out. I don't know where they are going to go with this, but they're doing it. They're doing it. So, without further ado, we'll start from the bottom of the card, which is the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship match between Fire and Flavor and Jordynne Grace and the brand new Impact Knockouts wrestler in Rachel Ellering. Now, I think this is going to Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering. I don't know why. I just have a feeling it is. Fire and Flavor have had an incredible run as champions. Jordynne Grace has obviously lost her best friend in Jazz, who is officially retired now, and Rachel Ellering has just debuted. Now, what a monumental statement it will be if Rachel Ellering wins, and I feel like if Jordynne Grace loses here, where does she go? Like, does she go into the main event scene? Maybe, but is it the right time? I really don't know for this one, because it's the same with Fire and Flavor. If Fire and Flavor lose, where do they go?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, maybe, yeah. Actually, yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know.
Fuck it, I'm sticking with my guns. I'm sticking with Jordynne Grace and Rachel Ellering because that was what my gut said, but I really am not confident with this one. I haven't kept up with Impact very, very well, so it's been really difficult. It's going to be difficult for me to really get these right. I've been struggling to keep up with wrestling pay-per-views, but I'm going to try my best. Next up on the card is Violent by Design of Eric Young, Rhyno, Joe Deoring and Deonna versus James Storm, Chris Sabin, Eddie Edwards and Willie Mack. It's a bit of a difficult one because I feel like Violent by Design have been very dominant and haven't really lost many matches, which is good. However, I think it could be Storm, Sabin, Edwards and Mack. I feel like they might do it. The star power in this one is a lot bigger than usual. Usually it has like a Tommy Dreamer or someone in. I feel like the star power in that tag team is a lot bigger than usual. A lot of main event talent. Eddie Edwards, main event talent. Same as Willie Mack as well. So I reckon it might be them. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think they might sneak a victory. And then, yeah, Violent by Design then can move on to other things because Violent by Design have been very dominant as of late. Next one on the card is probably one I'm most excited for, really, which is Sami Callihan versus Trey Miguel in a last man standing match. This is to prove whether Trey Miguel has the passion, and I'm going to tell you that he does. I feel like Trey Miguel is working out the winner in this one. I feel like Sami Callihan's plan of having Trey Miguel's passion come out is going to work. I feel like it will actually work. Trey Miguel will come out of this and better, bigger and better than ever before. Maybe even push on to that main event scene. That would be really interesting actually to see Trey Miguel in that main event scene. It wouldn't surprise me to see him there. But that will be two big losses in a row for Callihan, so they need to be careful with Callihan if that happens. But I do think Trey Miguel will be walking out of this one with the win. Next up on the card is Brian Myers versus Matt Cardona. For this one, I feel like Brian Myers is going to do it. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I feel like Brian Myers has been very crafty and he's been losing here, there and everywhere. And I feel as though Myers might sneak a victory here. I think this might continue this rivalry. And plus, I've been predicting a lot of face wins in this card. So, yeah, I feel like maybe Brian Myers might sneak away a victory here. I don't know why, I just have a sneaky suspicion. Next up on the card is TJP versus Ace Austin with Madman Fulton by his side versus Josh Alexander for the X Division title. I feel like this one it's going to be an incredible match, but I feel like it has to be Ace Austin. Ace Austin has just won the title. Don't take it off him yet. Let him have a nice lengthy run with it. This is a good way. This triple threat format's a good way of keeping the other two strong. But I feel like Ace Austin will walk away with this one with the victory. I don't know what it is. I just feel as though it's too early to take that belt off of him. So why not just keep it on him, protect the other two in this triple threat, and it could be an incredible match. Next up on the card is Deonna Purrazzo versus Tenille Dashwood for their Knockouts title. Now the problem with this one is they're two heels, so you can't even be like, I don't know who's the face in this one. I guess Deonna Purrazzo might be the face, but I don't know. But I think Deonna Purrazzo is walking out with this one with the victory. I would love to see Tenille Dashwood with the belt. I would love to see it, and fair play if they have the balls to do that. But I feel like Deonna Purrazzo is going to keep it. I don't know who's going to take it off of her. Like, she's beaten so many. Maybe Su Yung. I can see Su Yung being the one to take it off of Deonna Purrazzo. And because of that, I'm going to go with Tenille Dashwood. I'm going to go with Deonna Purrazzo. I think Tenille Dashwood will produce a good match with Deonna. But I do think that Tenille will fall short and Deonna would have to face the wrath of Su Yung at some point, is my prediction there. Next up on the card is a very difficult one, which is the Impact Tag Team Championship match between FinJuice, who are with New Japan Pro Wrestling, facing the Good Brothers. Now I'm going to go with the Good Brothers. I feel like FinJuice were almost not transitional champions, but they kept the championships. They brought it over to New Japan and kind of increased the stock in Impact. I feel like that was a good thing to do. Put the belts back on the Good Brothers. Have the Good Brothers with the titles. Have Kenny Omega with the titles, spoiler alert. And have the Young Bucks with the titles. The visual of this new family club thing will be very good if they all have the titles, and it will just be one hell of a visual. And I feel like they're going to go with it. I feel like they are. I feel like FinJuice were used as a shock win. They won shockingly, I think. A lot of people weren't expecting them to actually do it. But I feel like it was a way to increase the stock in Impact, and it seemed to have worked. So fair play to them. And the main event of the card is the unification bout between Rick Swann and Kenny Omega, with the AEW World Championship and the Impact World Championship on the line. I'm going to go with Kenny Omega. I feel like a lot of people will be predicting that. I do not see Rick Swann winning it. I don't see Rick Swann being the guy to beat Kenny Omega. I feel like the story with Kenny Omega is to have Hangman Adam Page beat him for the title. But you just don't know, do you? But yeah, I do really think with Rick Swann, this is going to lead into a Rick Swann Moose program, like a proper one. Because Rick Swann versus Moose was rushed. Very, very rushed. But I feel like this could actually lead to a proper feud between those two. After the events of Impact, I did watch that segment between Moose and Rick Swann, and Moose threatening Rick Swann of he'll have to face the consequences if he loses. I feel like that would be one hell of a storyline. Moose who's angry and Rick Swann who's regretful, and that little storyline there will work to absolute perfection. I can just visualize the entire storyline. The only worry is I do not know where Kenny Omega goes. I know where he goes in AEW, but where does he go in Impact? Do you have the likes of Eddie Edwards, Willie Mack, Trey Miguel, these guys who have been in Impact from the very beginning, you know, these stalwarts? I think that's the way to do it. Have these stalwarts of Impact, have the people who are Impact through and through, go towards Kenny Omega. The people like Eddie Edwards, who is Impact through and through, have him go to Kenny Omega, have him fight Kenny Omega, have him fully beat him down, and it just have this non-stop feuds between these guys and eventually have someone take over. Who would I have take over from Kenny Omega? I really don't know. As Impact World Champion, that's my worry, is I don't know how much this thing will benefit Impact. I hope it benefits Impact a lot. It'd be nice if Rick Swann was the guy to do it eventually, maybe, or something like that, or maybe Moose. Imagine if Moose took the title off of Kenny Omega. I would love to see that. And Moose and Hammond Adam Page taking the titles off of Kenny Omega would be great. And that's what I think it will happen. So yeah, that is the card. That is a really eventful card. I know I've just sped through these, but I haven't really been keeping up with Impact that often. I have a grasp as to what was going on. I've kept up for roughly, but yeah, most of you will know, like, keeping up does not help. Like, it's the subtleties. It's the subtleties that, like, in people's eyes, in people's facial expressions, that would tell the story, that you can see where the story's going. Unfortunately, I cannot see where some of these are going. It's a very weird one, this show. I feel like there's a couple here that I could have easily have gotten wrong, and I probably have gotten wrong. But that main event will be incredible, but I'm 90% sure Kenny Omega's either walking out with that title, or it's going to be a screwy finish. But they're not going to do a screwy finish. They are going to give Kenny Omega the title, and it's just crazy to think that that is actually happening. But yeah, put down in the comments down below, who do you think is walking out of Impact's Rebellion pay-per-view with those titles around their waists? Like, I would love to know who you think is walking away with the victories here. It's a very, very strong card, and I can guarantee Impact are going to blow the house down, as they always seem to do. Recently, they are a slept upon promotion. They're going to absolutely smash it. Here now, talking about smashing it, smash that like button. That was a bit cringy, but I don't care. Just tell YouTube that you like this video, and YouTube will push this out, so then we can get more people in this conversation of who will walk away out of this pay-per-view with the victories. I would love to see that. Unfortunately, I will not be doing a watch along. I will not be tweeting along with the show like I usually do. I've got journalism stuff going on tonight. I'm having to live tweet the Oscars tonight, so if you're interested in that, do keep it on my Twitter. My Twitter is in the description down below. But unfortunately, that means that I will not be able to watch this show. I'll probably get spoilers throughout the night, but unfortunately, my focus will be elsewhere. So apologies for that for any of you guys that are disappointed. In the future, obviously, I'll try my best to do what I can, but you have to understand that my course and my uni work will always come first. So yeah. If you're new here, please do subscribe for more stuff like this. Check out all my other stuff. There's so much on this channel for you to go away and watch, so please do that. And I shall see all of you in the next video. See ya!